Well, good evening everyone and welcome along to Apex Online Racing AOR PS4 F8 live from Circuit of the Americas. We're here for round 17 of the F8 tier and the championship is heating up to be an amazing battle. We now have 5 points separating the two at the top, McQuiz and Washi. So it's going to be one hell of a battle here at Circuit of the Americas. So we're just waiting on getting the stream up and running, and we're going to look at who is coming out on track. I imagine it is round 17 of this series. It has gone so quickly, even with a delay in there, it's all gone so fast. So here we are, Circuit of the Americas. An amazing track, of course, in these brand new 2017 cars. Especially this first section, then this S section that is so quick and just amazing with these wide cars that really stick through this S section. But enough of that, we'll go through who is here for this round 17 of this series. So we have Noodle Madoodle in the McLaren, Stuart McDoodle there, who is, I think, trying to stop a string of DNFs. Jason, at his home Grand Prix here, the American driving for the Red Bull, is going to be looking for a good result here. David Ben crashed out last time in Japan, but is looking to redeem himself there in that Ferrari. Buffon had a great run last time out in Malaysia, but is looking to improve, perhaps get a podium for himself. Seika, the American driving in the American car, the Haas, is going to be... Well, the American fans are going to be out in force for the Haas team and for him and Jason. And so they'll be looking for a great result here and trying to get it on the podium. More than amazing. Driver of the day last time out in Japan. Got a second place for himself. And I think he's going to be one to watch today. Dyson was last of the classified finishers last time out, but he is there in the Force India, and let's see if he can get himself a good result here. Boniface, your winner last time out in Japan, looking to improve. Well, looking to get himself another race win, perhaps. Calidamus, the Canadian, returns. He missed a race last time out, but he's back in that Williams car. Danny Oyuke there in P10. The pole is going to be looking for a top 10 finish, I think. Jerry Force is in that Haas, and he drove the Mercedes last time out, but the Swede is in the Haas this time as a reserve driver, of course. Washi, championship leader in P12 currently, is going to be looking to make sure he keeps himself at the top of the leaderboard. Zek, how has this guy not had a win yet? We don't know. Probably the unluckiest driver in F8, but let's see if he can get himself a win today. Ian in P14 there, looking to get himself back in the points. He had a run of 2 non-point scores after 15 rounds of scoring. Rob 2K, look at also another guy who should really have a podium, but there you go. Hoink, looking to get himself a podium as well. Denzamo, who had a great run in the last couple of Grand Prix, a win, a pole position, and then McQuiz, P2 in the championship, 5 points off the leader. Didn't quite have the run he'd like. Could have potentially had a race win, but both of them had wing damage and didn't get the battle they wanted. And Lemaro in that Sauber, looking to improve on his results. So there is the grid for the F8 tier. Let's see how they get on in qualifying. So we'll open up the stream chat so I can say hello to you all. So let's see if we can get an onboard lap with one of the guys here. There you go, Washi setting the fast lap. Hello to Billy O'Connor. And there's Washi setting the fast lap. As I said, there is David Ben setting 135.4. These guys way off. Now we're looking for times in about the 132s, we reckon, for the pole time here. As McQuiz, I think, has been setting a 32.7. There he is, popping top of the timing sheets with 134.7. It's hard to believe Washi's last victory was back in Belgium. And a couple of rounds ago, I think McQuiz, it was a while back for his victory as well. So these guys have been winless for the past couple of rounds. It was back in Italy at Monza that was McQuiz's last victory. Had different winners since then. We had James Boniface, we've had David Ben winning, and we've had Denzamo. Yes, we had. So there is your initial times. We're riding on board with Washi as he goes down towards Sector 2. This very technical section of the Circuit of the Americas. purpose-built for Formula One, of course, situated in Houston, Texas. I think it's been on the calendar. I'll give it a rough guess. I think it's been on since about 2012. I believe that's when the first race was. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was 2012 or 2013 that it was held for the first time. And this is just the most wonderful corner, and these brand new cars just absolutely flat. You saw Washi, there's no lifting whatsoever through that corner. And then this double left with this very slow last corner, but he's going to come in. So we've got three compounds of tyre here. As always, we've got the ultra soft, super soft, and soft tyres available. We reckon the ultra soft to soft as possible. Could potentially go for a 2-stop with an ultra soft, super soft, super soft, or the reverse of such super softs, ultra soft perhaps. So then, we're watching David Ben, who's just getting out of the way of Jason, keeping an eye on the home favourite. Well, we'll say home favourite. The home man there in that Red Bull. Been doing well this year, but I think he could be on for a good result here. Let's see how the rest of them are getting on. Seika, let's see how he's getting up in P6 actually. Caddy Damus all the way up in P5 with that time, so everybody's looking really good. So, the top two in the championship are currently 1 and 2 on the grid, McQuiz and Owashi. David Ben currently P3, Rob 2K P4, Caddy Damus P5, Seika P6, more than amazing, P7. Then we have Noodle in P8, Ian in P9, Dyson in P10. We have a lot of drivers who have not set a time as of yet. Let's see, I think Jason may be on a lap. Let's see where this is going to put him. He's coming through that long, sweeping right-hander in Sector 3. So then, I've had a sandwich delivered to me. Synonymous with my commentary, I think. Anyways. So, people asking, is there a PC stream today? I think there is, yes. You should be able to see it on the, if you're looking for the F1 stream, I assume. Should be on the channel there. So, with 3 minutes left of qualifying. I think we just had more than amazing pop into P6 there. With that lap. So now we come to the second part of qualifying. 3 minutes and 20 seconds remain on the clock. We've got a couple of drivers who have not set a lap yet. So we have Jason, who's not set a lap, but he's currently on a lap. Buffon has not set one. Boniface just coming out now. Zek in the pits, Hoink in the pits. Denzamo having a bit of a spin, half spin there, and Lamaro on his way out too. So now McQuiz and Washi back out on track. If I haven't mentioned it enough already, 5 points separate the top two in the championship. McQuiz said he's not really a fan of the next couple of rounds, but he's currently on provisional pole position. So let's see if the Estonian can turn the championship in his favour today. Of course, if he wins the race and Washi is second, that will mean he will go into the next round as championship leader, which he has not had the lead of the championship since Australia, around the beginning of the season. PC stream should be there, but no, it looks like they're not up and running just yet. So now, on board with championship contender McQuiz, on the way up towards turn 1. It's a very, very tough corner. Blind apex. Gets it wonderfully in there. So, on the power, on the way out, we come to the S section. Similar to Suzuka, which we had last time out. No hint of a lift to the first part. Little kick of oversteer for him there, but he corrects it nicely. Keeps it tight to the apex. Very nice line from the Estonian there. He's got, I think, one of the Reynolds up there. It's going to be Ian, I think, who gets well out of the way for him. And Washi should be on a lap there. There's hardly anything separating them. There's a couple of hundredths. 200ths of a second is what separates them. And we come to the DRS section. DRS very, very effective here in Circuit of the Americas. So there is the DRS wide open on McQuiz's car then. I think he's backed out of it, has he? He backed out of it because of the traffic. I heard a lift and coast from him there, so I think he's just gonna... Will he have enough time to get around and do another one? We'll see. Will David Benz retired? Is Washi on a lap? Yes, he is. So he's coming up towards McQuiz. McQuiz lets him through. Denzamo, there you go, 134.6. This man has been pulling pace out of nowhere and goes provisional pole position. McQuiz will have time. He's just going to collect himself and go for another shot. But Denzamo, top of the timing sheets with a 134.645. Washi on his way round to set a lap. Where is this going to put the championship leader? Where is he going to go? Across the line. He is going to go nowhere because he improved slightly. But this is going to be the one he needs. So, McQuiz on a lap. Denzamo also on another lap, so he can potentially improve. He's already up on his time. Look at the timing delta on his steering wheel. 1/10 of a second up already. McQuiz going very quickly in the first sector. 2/10 of a second up on his best. Where's Washi? He's a 1/10 of a second up on his best. They're all going faster. I wouldn't count this man out either. Boniface, how's he doing? He's in sector 1, I think. Yes, he is. So they're all coming around to set laps. So, the first across the line will be Denzamo, I think. So let's keep an eye on him. He'll be the first of the Toro Rossos across the line. And of course, we did forget, Toro Rosso are the Constructors' Champions of F8. So congratulations to Denzamo and Washi. They won it last time out in Japan. So they have that secured for them. But this Drivers' Championship is still wide open. So, Denzamo is still in with a shot of the Drivers' title, by the way. He's still mathematically in it. So, coming through the final corner then. Denzamo should go quicker than he already has. Across the line, 133.9. Is Washi ahead of McQuiz? No, he's not. So McQuiz coming through this long right-hander. He's almost half a second up on his best. He set a 32, I believe, in his time trial. So let's see, where is this going to put him then? This should be provisional pole position, or will it be? So here he comes, across the line, the Estonian comes across the line, 134.1, can't do it. Washi, where's he going to go? He's going to go third quickest, 134.4. So Denzamo, another pole position for him. His second of his AOR career. He got his first one in Malaysia. He gets another one in Circuit of the Americas. So, McQuiz will start on the front row alongside Denzamo. But Washi is going to be on the second row alongside David Ben. Then we have Rob 2K is going to start on the third row alongside Boniface. They're actually parked up beside each other, and Boniface is missing a tyre. Buffon will start P7. Caddy Dems will start P8. More than amazing. And Seiko will round out the top 10. Haas will get a top 10 start for the American team. Limara with a good lap actually in P11 will start just outside the top 10, but with free tyre choice. Jason, P12 in his home Grand Prix. Seika's home Grand Prix as well, as I did mention. So then, it's going to be an interesting one into turn 1, because it is quite a long run to turn 1. As you can see, we'll just see Denzamo come across the line. Pole position is just about there. It's on the right hand side of the grid. There it is. So it's going to be quite a long run, and expect a lot of dive bombs from these guys. So qualifying will come to an end. So outside the top 10 we have Lamaro, Jason, Zek, Hoink, and we just had Stewart in there as well, Stuart McDougall, and Hoink in P14 in the Red Bull. Quite surprising, I thought it'd be further up than that, considering his qualifying in Singapore. So outside the top 10 is going to be there's Stewart, Ian, Jerry Forrest, Danny Oyuke, Dyson in P19. The top 10 were separated by about 0.2 of a second actually, so it was a really good lap from Denzamo to steal another pole position for himself, his second one of the season. And Washi starts on the second row of the grid alongside the Ferrari. So, it's time for round 17 of the season to get underway. There you have it. There is the intro that is no longer copyrighted, and it is very overcast here in Circuit of the Americas. Potential rain, perhaps? We're just looking at the car of, I believe this should be Stuart McDougall we're on board with. So he's down in P14, but you see, it is looking quite cloudy. So could we see some rain? We saw it last time in Japan, it did rain near the end of the Grand Prix, but now, with 5 seconds left to go, round 17 of the AOR F8 series is about to get underway. Championship battle still very much on, and so we'll go to 5 red lights for the American Grand Prix here. It's lights out and away we go. Denzamo gets away while McQuiz gets an even better start. What a start from the Estonian. Down the inside already alongside Denzamo. He's going to go down the inside and take the lead of the Grand Prix. Will he? No, Denzamo's on the outside. And Denzamo, I think, will hold on to that. Yes, he will. Washi's had a disastrous start. He's down in 5th already. Denzamo holds on, but what a start from McQuiz. He almost got it. But it is David Ben, Buffon and Washi down in P5. What a terrible start. More than amazing. P6 already. Rob 2K. And we already have a car around there. That's Danny UK who spun the car there. So, back to the top then. Denzamo, great start. But McQuiz absolutely hooked it up on the start but couldn't quite get in front. So there is your top 3. There is Denzamo, McQuiz, David Ben, Buffon and Washi. Is Washi trying to make a move on Buffon? Yes, he is. He's going to try and go around down the inside. Can he do it? Yes, he can. Gets the traction and gets in front. So now he's got to make sure that he chases after McQuiz, because this is going to be a crucial race for the championship. You can see More Than Amazing trying to make a move on Buffon. So this is going to be down the inside. Is he already ahead? Yes, he is. No, he's not quite. Yes, he makes the move on Buffon. Almost makes it on Washington. We saw some action going down further on. You can see them all bunching up in the background, all alongside Seika and Jason, the 2 Americans going side by side. Hoink in 13th. And you see a couple of others going side by side there. So back to this battle. More Than Amazing. We know he's a great starter and he's already up to P5, and now he's challenging Washi, who's dropped behind to 1.4 behind. So the early signs are not good. But look at after lap 1, Denzamo leads the US Grand Prix then from McQuiz, from David Ben, from Washi, from More Than Amazing, from Buffon, Rob 2K, Boniface, Limaro, who's in the points, fantastic drive, and Kenny Davis in P10. We got yellow flag in sector 3. Who's that for? Looks like it's Ian. Yes, he is. He's lost a bit of his front wing. So Denzamo with the early pace, looking very, very good out front in that clean air. David Ben right on the back of McQuiz. And Washi 1.4 behind. So I'm not sure what quite happened off the start. I'll have to look back at it. But it was not a good getaway. Oh, McQuiz running wide. The heavy fuel load, of course, it's different to qualifying, so some guys are able to handle the fuel load a bit better. Rob 2K makes a move on Buffon. They're side by side into this next section then. Buffon tries to hold it around the outside. Rob 2K's alongside him. Is he ahead? Just about, but they're going to go side by side all the way down the main straight here, the back straight. And watch Boniface is going to get the slipstream down the back straight as well. Could we see some 3 wide? They're going to go 3 wide. Yes, they are. Is Boniface going to make a double overtake? No, he can't. Maybe he will. He makes contact. And Buffon's maybe going to be the big loser here. No, he can't. So Buffon holds on to that. And Rob 2K makes that move. But look at Limaro. Where's he come from? Trying to get into the action. And there it is. David Ben makes a move past McQuiz. So there you have it. So that's a big move from David Ben. He's dropped in front of McQuiz, who now is just in front of Washi. Denzamo is 2.7 seconds out front. So really good on the early pace. DRS is enabled this lap. Let's see if McQuiz is going to make another move on. David Ben thinks about the dive bomb, but doesn't make it work. More Than Amazing, dropping back a little bit now. And Washi. And there you have it. I said it looked overcast. The rain has already started to fall here in America. So how long will it be before that rain takes effect? Right on board, you can see the rain falling. And look at Washi closing in on McQuiz. So Denzama 3.1 seconds in the lead then. More than amazing, still sticking behind Washi then. So they're all sticking together with each other pretty much, apart from Denzama, who's decided he wants to go off by himself. 3.5 seconds clear of David Ben. DRS is still enabled, so they will be still going at it for a little bit. And McQuiz is now under pressure from Washi. And the rain is falling quite heavily already. And the grip is already starting to go away as McQuiz goes wide. Washi's going to see that and think he's vulnerable. So the grip is already starting to go away. So there's very heavy rain falling. And of course, more than amazing, right on the back of Washi, there he is in the Sauber. Potential podium and again for him, perhaps. And you see more, he's all over the back of Washi here. Could really be a spanner in the works. He could be. There is a move between Hoink and Caddy Damas. No, there isn't, because he's gone wide as well. The two Red Bulls go wide, actually. And there, oh no! Is that what? I thought that was Washi in the wall for a second. It's more than amazing. Excuse me, I thought it was a blue car. I saw a flash of blue and instantly assumed. But Washi has actually got past McQuiz. We just missed that as we flicked back. As David Ben goes wide, he keeps out of the way of Washi, but just gets in front of McQuiz. So now Washi's actually got a bit of breathing space as a result of that. But the rain is so heavy already. As Rob 2K has gone off into that wall. So now it's already tipped in Washi's favour. David Ben's struggling around. So McQuiz needs to get past. He needs to at least try and stay with Washi. DRS is disabled, so already it's intermediate conditions. So we are in for a full wet race. Here comes McQuiz with the slipstream on David Ben. This is for P3 then. Will he get past on the brakes or will he have to back out of it? He gets very cautiously on the brakes. Bit of contact made because it's so wet. There's just no grip available. And he's just going to back out of that. But nobody's gaining any time really. It's just so slick. Everybody is tiptoeing around it for the grip. Look at him squirming through the corners. Washi absolutely opposite lock through that corner. David Ben opposite lock. So these guys have got to be coming in for intermediates. Is McQuiz going to think about making a move or will he be patient? I think he should be patient here. Denzamo in. Everybody's got to come in for those intermediates. Yes. Washi comes in. David Ben in. McQuiz in. This is the sign. Hoink and Lamaro going side by side and looks like Hoink's make that move. So now, here we go. Boniface gets a 3-second time penalty. So Washi will go into those intermediates. Everybody onto the intermediates. Denzamo already on his way out. Washi on his way out. David Ben on his way out. They've all kept their positions. But David Ben has actually gained some time on Washi. He's right up his gearbox as they come out of the pit lane. And he's already trying to line up a move on him. So who is going to adapt to the wet conditions? And with this early intermediate conditions, we could see a progression all the way up to full wets. But right now, once again, Washi's doing enough to make sure he stays in front in the championship. And with only 3 rounds left after this one, it's crucial. Every point is crucial. Zek up in P7, doing well. Lemar on P9. Jerry Force all the way up in P10. Everybody looks like they're on... Well, apart from... Oh dear. Seika still on Ultrasofts. So that has not gone well for him. He might have just got the call too late. And you just see Stuart and Ian going at area. Look at Stuart going around the outside of that section. Not going to work for him there. Seika just not able to find the grip in these conditions. And it looks like it could progress to full wets very quickly. As you saw, Stuart going for a lockup and a huge kick of oversteer on the way out. Now, this is going to be the move for P13. Side by side down the back straight between the McLaren and Renault. He's already ahead. Shows the deficit in power or wings. Is he going to try and come back? No. Zek and Hoink, nose to tail. This is for, well, a train for P5 essentially. It's already extremely wet out here. So, it could be full wet very shortly. And you can see Washi is just pulling away. He's very, very good in these wet conditions, it looks like. Then again, the rig could stop and dry up and back to the normal conditions. You see Buffon and Hoink going side by side up to turn 1. Red Bull and Ferrari side by side towards turn 1. Who's going to get that move done? It looks like it's Hoink going to be able to get that move done. Yeah, just about. And just to go off on a tangent here, actually. Last time out, it was Washi's 50th Grand Prix in AOR. So congratulations to him. This is his 51st. But it was his 50th Grand Prix last time out. Oh, that was... Was that Rob 2K? Yes, it was. McQuiz looks like he's gaining a little bit of time on David Ben. Buffon right... Oh, my goodness me. Huge dive bomb from Buffon. And he has made that work, actually. It's an excellent move from the Ferrari. And look who's right behind. Zek. In P7, trying to find that slipstream versus the Red Bull. Thinks about a little move, but gets a bit squirmy on the brakes. And looks like there's a bit of debris flying around there as Hoink makes a move on Buffon. And look at that, Boniface on the inside as well. We get helicopter shots, and he gets that moved on into this next Sector 3. Rob 2K all the way off on the grass there. He's still on super softs. Or is that Dyson, actually? It's Dyson. So McQuiz looks like he's not having a good time in these conditions. He's already going to be 4.4 seconds adrift. So we have a yellow flag in Sector 3. Not sure what that's for, but keep an eye on this battle as Washi is just pulling huge chunks of time out of Denzamo up ahead. He's 1.7 behind Zek. Has he come in for wing damage? Yes, he has. And you can see, look at this. Is this... Kelly Davis trying to make a move on Jason. Can you maybe stick one down the inside at the top of the hill? Gets on the power. Can't quite do it. And there you have... Look at McQuiz right up behind David Ben. He needs to get a move on. And Washi is right up behind Denzamo as well. McQuiz, Denzamo and Washi all still technically fighting for the championship. Denzamo still in with a shot of it. So Washi needs to find a way past his teammate. Will he play the team game? Constructors champions this year, of course. Toro Rosso won it last time out in Japan. So when will we see this progression to full wets, if we will? So now, Wash is going to start experiencing that dirty air effect when he gets up behind his teammate. Boniface gets it past Buffon. So, oh, there we have it. That's the switch. It looks like Denzamo backs out of it and lets Washi into the lead of the American Grand Prix. So that is crucial. Everything just seems to be falling into his lap today. And that is Dyson out of this Grand Prix. Looks like he's just given up. He went onto the full wet tyres. He was the first to make that jump. But I don't think it's worked for him, so he's out. Jerry Force is piling on the wall, it looks like. More than amazing. Looks like he's having little bit of a swap position between himself and Stewart. So rain definitely not easing off. And just looks like it's getting wetter and wetter. Of course, if it was to finish as it was, this would be a huge boost for Washi's championship. Has not had a victory since Belgium. McQuizz not had a victory since Monza. So they've just been racking up the podiums and points finishes. Washi the only man to finish every race this season in the points. Never been outside. Lowest finish of 8th this season, so very impressive. McQuizz is I think he's just getting frustrated behind the Ferrari now. He just cannot find a way past. Of course, we've got to remember, McQuizz is on a controller. The rest of these guys in the top 3 all on Fanatec wheels. David Ben on a brand new Fanatec wheel, which he purchased this week. You can just see them, the two Toro Rossos just up ahead. Washi going up the hill. So close yet so far, I suppose. McQuizz is about 5 seconds adrift of his championship rival. Meanwhile, let's have a look further down the order. See this little battle going on for 9th. Well, technically 8th actually. Lamar is all the way up in P8. He's doing a really good job today in that Sauber. As Caddy Damas runs a bit wide, More Than Amazing takes advantage and goes into P10. So I think we definitely will see a transition to full wets, because look, it's just getting wetter and wetter, and the rain is not easing off at all. Just heard Kelly Dems lock up his tyres momentarily as he's sliding through that section. All these guys very close together. Jason the American trying to get a good points haul for Red Bull here in America. Haas not having a good day. They're down 17th and 18th respectively. You can just see McQuizz still not able to find a way past David Ben. And that gap is ever increasing between himself and Washi. And Washi's just in complete command. As we see, More Than Amazing showing himself in the mirrors versus Jason there. Jason runs a bit wide. So that tactic obviously works. So here comes More Than Amazing trying to go around the outside of Jason. Or will he try and get the cut back? No, try and hang around the outside, but it's not going to work there. Try and get the traction. Maybe dive a cheeky one down the inside here. No. Backs out of it. More Than Amazing, of course, 2nd place in Japan in the wet. So he's well accustomed to doing well in these wet conditions. Probably could have been a little bit further up if it wasn't for his accident earlier in the race. But just keep an eye on More Than Amazing. So he'll have the slipstream down towards turn 1 then versus the Red Bull. Jason goes defensive. Where is More Than Amazing going to go? Surely a little cheeky one down the inside. Goes a little bit later on the brakes than Jason, and straight down the inside goes the Sauber. Is Jason going to try and... No. So nice move from More Than Amazing there. McQuizz frustrated still behind David Ben. But the consolation is the gap is not increasing between himself and Washi. It's kind of stabilising at around that 5-second mark. So, I think McQuizz just needs to be a little bit patient as you see David Ben closing in on Denzamo, who's just up the road. More Than Amazing, looks like he's challenging his teammate. Well, his teammate let him through. Yes, he does. Just keeps him to the outside. Well, not quite. A little bit of wheel banging. So, no team orders between the Saubers there. So, he should have the slipstream here versus his teammate. Teammate, obviously, does not want to let him through because he's very far up and doing a great job. So, More Than Amazing going to dive one down the inside. And we'll make that move work. So, nice move. So the gap between David Ben and Denzamo's coming down. Which means, of course... Well, actually, David Ben had a tank slapper there, so that won't help him. So the gap between David Ben and Washi is about 5.7 seconds. So Washi well out in front, but not in comfortable pit stop territory. The top four should come out in front. Well, they should stay in the top four if they make a pit stop. Only had one retirement from this Grand Prix, Dyson. This must be frustrating for McQuiz, fighting for that championship and just cannot find a way past David Ben. Could have been a different story if he had managed to get past Denzamo into turn 1 off the start, because he absolutely hooked it up off the line. Oh no, dear McQuiz, what was he doing there? A lapse of judgment perhaps, but now loses a chunk of time thanks to that lock-up. But David Ben could help McQuiz here if he battles with Denzamo enough. So we have about 17 laps to go here. And could we see perhaps anyone go to the full wet, as we see a little bit of a move going on here. Stewart trying to go past Jason for P10. Can he make that move? No, Jason's going to try and stick one down the inside of this next section. Yes, he will. So he's... Oh, no. Oh, dear. Well done to Stewart for holding on to it. Rob 2K in the background as well, trying to recover. It's more than amazing. He's in a bit of no man's land now. He's in P8. I saw Ian come in. Is he on the wets? Yes, he's on the full wets. Now, how is his time doing? I'm not sure how he is pulling time. I don't know if he actually is. Looks like he's struggling a bit to try and get traction. Meanwhile, look at this. David Ben looking really good in these wet conditions. He's starting to pull time. On Denzamo, 1.3, 1.2 is the gap. So, Denzamo's tyres perhaps going off here. So McQuiz hanging back. He had a mistake, but he's sitting at a 1.8 behind David Ben then. 5 seconds between David Ben and Washi. Jerry Force comes in. And Ian, I think, is just losing a chunk of time. It's still not wet enough for those full wets. He's lost about... Well, I think he's had a spin. Looks like, because he's dropping chunks and chunks of time. As we see Noodle try to get... When he's making his way past the Sauber of Limaro. And I just saw Daniel UK, I think, and Cali Damus going at it there. So the gaps are stable. Little kick of oversteer from David Ben going through the last corner. He's chasing after Denzamo. Just see if we can get the position changes. You can see Hoink up 9 positions from his starting one. And there is the tyre selection for everybody on intermediates, apart from Ian, who down on full wets. That is Jerry Force pulling out of the way of all of these guys. And now you just saw, look at David Ben right up behind Denzamo now, all of a sudden. So was there a mistake from Denzamo, or was that just lapped traffic that didn't help his cause? And also that gap between Washi and David, huge kick of oversteer on the power there. That gap is down to 4 seconds now. And the rain is very heavy. So here comes David Ben. Look at the straight line speed. No DRS. That is pure slipstream. And through this next corner. Now he'll have the dirty air to deal with as well as the wet conditions. These guys cannot afford any time penalties. So they've got to be careful that they don't exploit those track limits. Now this little battle here will help McQuiz to catch up a little bit. More than amazing, makes his way past Buffon down the main straight, or the back straight. Yes. So David Ben sticking behind. And McQuiz just struggling behind to keep up. And David Ben just, well, I don't know what happened to him there, but he lost a chunk of time. So, half a second behind now. So now he's got a, big lockup, but he's way later on the brakes and still manages to hold it, actually. So he's much more confident in these conditions, it looks like. So through the S's, let's see how he gets on. He looks like he got a bit wide there, but he's keeping it honest. He's keeping Denzamo. But Denzamo also is helping Washi by holding these guys behind, because now he's 5 seconds clear, but look how close he's getting now. And you saw the straight line speed advantage that David Benton had. Is he going to try a move? He's going to have to go to the outside if he wants this one, but watch, he'll get the textbook switch back. He brakes earlier and gets the switch back, but they make contact. So that's not going to help him, but he will have the slipstream down the back straight then. On board with the Ferrari. This should be a very... Look at the straight line speed. Here he comes down the inside. David Ben will take P2 in this Grand Prix. Oh, Denzamo very late on the brakes. And will he try and get the switch back? No, David Ben, textbook, gets past into P2. And all of that has allowed McQuiz to get right up behind them. They're going to keep battling. Denzamo is not giving it up. Is he maybe going to launch a cheeky one down the inside? No. So through they come to complete lap 14 onto lap 15. And let's see if David Ben can maybe potentially catch Washi. So that is Washi further up the road, and there is McQuiz. He's 1.7 behind Denzamo, but isn't closing in. Looks like Rob 2K and Lamaro having a little bit of a ding-dong battle down here for the tail end of the points. Rob 2K, of course, had a bit of an accident earlier on. He's looking to try and get back, and look, he just pulls alongside, but can't get the traction. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness me. Massive slide through the right-hander. And I just went to go back to the front for a second, because David Ben lost about a second. Well, a good few tenths. And McQuiz is just struggling. He went massively wide. And Caddy Damus is out of the US Grand Prix. He has gone off at the long right-hander. It looks like he's lost on the exit and had a big impact in the wall. He becomes the second retirement. Now McQuiz, he's suddenly gained a lot of time. So this is the battle for second in this Grand Prix. And depending on how things go, I think second may be the best that McQuiz can hope for today. Which means the championship gap will go back into the double digits. Go up to 12 points. So, luck has fallen Washi's way today. But of course the race is not over as of yet. We still have 13, well, actually 12 laps to go here in Circuit of the Americas, and McQuiz is starting to get right on the back of Denzamo, and they're all squirming around for grip. As you can see, the dry line forming. And all these guys are an absolute country mile in front of Hoink. They're 24 seconds clear. So now, this is a crucial move for McQuiz. He wants to get in front of Denzamo, starting to fall away a little bit. Beautiful camera shots from the helicopter. as they run through that S section there. Just see Noodle come in for a stop now. Could this be for a set of wet tyres? It looks like it's another set of intermediates. Yes, I think so. So nobody's trusting the wet tyres just yet. So let's see if Limaro perhaps goes on to those wets. No, he goes for those inters. McQuizz right on the back of Denzama. This is going to be the move then for P3. Huge straight line speed advantage in that Mercedes. Is he going to make that move? No, he's going to lock up, force Denzama a little bit wide. Denzama's going to get the cut back on the way out. Now, can he maybe hang one around the outside? He's going to try. And what a move that will be. He's going to hang around the outside, find the grip on the outside. And this is Denzamo really helping his teammate. He'll switch to the inside. Denzamo may hold on to this. McQuizz may try and get the cut back on the way out. He cannot get it. So Denzamo holds on to that P3 and absolutely hinders McQuizz from getting past. "11 laps to go then here in Circuit of the Americas, with the rain absolutely pouring down. Is there going to be wet tyres, or is it going to be the inters all the way to the end? McQuizz has to think of something to try. He's going to go a bit wide there. David Ben in P2 doing well. He's pulled 1.8 seconds. And we can say that the wet tyres are not working for the guys down in 16th and 17th, because that's where they are. And I'm interested to see if David Ben could potentially try and close down Washi. And I'm interested to see if these guys will need, well, we saw guys making stops for intermediate, so they will need another set. So they're on the ragged edge, as you saw there, with a huge kick of oversteer for McQuizz. I'm just interested to see between Buffon and Jason. Nose change for Jason, but they're all on those inters. So right now that gap is stable at around 6 seconds to Washi, who's all the way in the lead comfortably. Didn't expect him to be in the lead at the start. I thought McQuizz would be out in front, but he didn't quite get that move done on Denzamo, and that could have been the nail in the coffin. But he does not need another set of inters at this point, at least. And McQuizz is in, so he's struggling for grip. So let's see. Will he make a gamble, or will he play it safe? It looks like it's going to be more inters for him. Yes, it is. So he's going to comfortably, should come out in front of Hoink, who is in the long right-hander, so he should come out in front. So I think he's gambling on Washi having to stop again. So maybe with these fresh inters, perhaps McQuizz can put in a set of fast laps as Boniface comes in for his one. All these guys potentially could try a gamble and go to the wets, but it's definitely not working as Ian switched back to the inters. So he's not happy. So now McQuizz is 19 seconds behind Denzamo, so that would put him at about 28 behind Washi, and so he's still outside that pit stop. So even still, Washi would come out in front of him unless he can really start belting in these lap times. Now let's see if Washi responds to that, because you can hear him just feathering that throttle. Taking it very cautiously. Oh no, Ian with a retirement from it. That's a long time since we saw him have a retirement. That's him in the wall. And he is out of the US Grand Prix. I think that is actually his first retirement in this entire season. So that's a real shame for him. So in comes Washi for his Inters. So McQuiz, where is he? He's well behind. David Ben comes in, Denzamo reacts too. But he actually gets a 5-second stop go. Oh dear me. So that is not going to help him. Washi's gone for the wet tyres. They're all gone for the wets. Now then. So has McQuiz made the wrong call here? So they've all opted for the wet tyres, and it is very, very wet out there. So, McQuiz, where's he going to come out? He's come out just behind David Ben. I'm very, very intrigued that they've actually gone for the wet tyres. So then, David Ben, Washi, out front with the wet tyres. McQuiz has got in front of Denzamo thanks to that 5-second stop go he picked up. So it looks like the wets are the right tyre. But then again, I could be wrong. McQuiz has made the gamble to stay on the Inters. Hoink's gone for the wets. Could this have been a disastrous call from McQuiz's team? Because he's not gaining time. David Ben is pulling away. And just as I said that he had a tank slapper, but it looks like McQuiz may have just wasted an opportunity to maybe try and overcut these guys. David Ben, because he's squirming around for that grip. McQuiz has to get in front if he wants to just bring that championship gap damage limitation, get it to 12 points. And there's David Ben squirming around, losing the back end. And McQuiz gets to P2. Now we will see if Washi has made the right call to go to the wet tyres. Because, well, it is getting progressively wetter. We can't deny that. But more than amazing, has decided he wants to stay out in those Inters. A lot of guys still out on the intermediate tyres. You can see more than amazing kind of struggling for that grip. And is he going to come in, perhaps? He is not. Actually, he does. So he's going to actually dive for the wets. But you can see that McQuiz, he doesn't seem to be phased. He seems to be going around just fine on those intermediates. But then again, he's not gaining time on Washi, so could this be Washi's first victory since Belgium? Well, David Ben's not going to play a factor in this anymore because he's got a 3-second time penalty. Denzamo's just behind them as well, so he could be well in with a shot. So we have about 8 laps to go. And we could have seen just an absolute disaster of a strategy call from Mercedes. But he's driving just fine at the moment. But you can see, you can hear the understeer, you can hear the car sliding through those corners. And it is very slick out there, very, very slick indeed. So it looks like no matter what happens, this ends up being the order. Quiz and Washi 1 and 2. We just saw a swap position between Boniface and Zek, he's just got that moved on. These guys are all driving around in intermediates as well and seem to be doing okay. They're all actually catching up to Hoink. So we have about 6 laps to go, or 7 laps to go, excuse me. And varying tyres. Now, then if this rain starts easing off, then McQuiz will be in a prime position, but it is getting wetter because it has not backed off. And David Ben's starting to close in again. I think this could have been an absolute disastrous call from Mercedes. As look at him going through the corners. He's absolutely crawling through the corners now. Then again, if you get a bad run through that, that's pretty much the entire corner ruined. Zek is in for wets. The full wet tires go on. We think. Yep, there it is. Daniel UK actually all the way up in P9. So they've been back within a second of McQuiz. So, could it have been the wrong call for McQuiz to switch those intermediates instead of the wet tyres? Because now he's starting to feel the effects. The minimum he will finish today is P4, even if he does come in for a pit stop. He's 28 seconds clear of more than amazing. But that's going to mean a huge points loss in the championship. Look at David Ben, so much more grip through the right-hander as the rain has just got progressively worse. And perhaps McQuiz now seeing the error of his ways as he sees a Ferrari lurking in his mirrors and a Toro Rosso disappearing into the distance. What would have been the story if he had got past Enzamo on lap 1? Oh, he's actually, oh dear, David Ben has hit the back of him now. I did actually forget that David Ben won't actually play a part unless he pulls 3 seconds on McQuiz. But look at McQuiz, he's absolutely struggling through this S section. And now Denzamo gets right up behind David Ben. I said this was a crucial day for the championship, and it could well be, especially for Washi, because increasing that gap is crucial to him. And no matter what happens, that gap is going to go back into the double digits. It could have switched the other way, but it hasn't. Unless he makes a horrible mistake. Everyone looks like they're switching to the wet tyres. So let's watch on board with McQuizzy. It's pretty much like an ice rink out there now on intermediates. David Ben is wasting no time. He's diving it down the inside of McQuiz. They make contact, and he's still alongside as they come to the right-hander. Oh, dearie me. That was on edge. Now, Denzamo actually gets through because of that, and now he's going to be hindering McQuiz even more. McQuiz somehow holds on, but he's not going to be able to hold on in those intermediates. Surely not. But is he going to just commit and go to the end? Denzamo should have the traction. He's going to get the traction and go past McQuiz for P2. Or will he? No, look at the straight line speed in the Mercedes. He's going to be a lot better on the brakes. And look at David Ben trying to go around the outside. Sweeping around the outside of the Toro Rosso. And what a move that was from David Ben. Recovered well from that little scary moment. That, of course, means that Washi's just pulling away even further ahead. We've got to say, McQuiz is doing an absolutely stellar job to hold on to that car in these conditions. You can see the puddles and rivers of water forming across the track. So, let's see if David Ben can maybe make the move. He's going to go for it down the inside before the back straightaway here. And is he going to make that move? He's going to shove McQuiz right off the track. And hard but fair from him there. Now, McQuiz is going to be vulnerable to Denzamo, but McQuiz has got fantastic straight line speed in that Mercedes. You can see him, he even pulls back time on David Ben as they run down towards this next section. But I think this has been an absolute disastrous strategy call. Look at Denzamo going to take advantage and go through. McQuiz is drifting through that right-hander. He's still alongside Denzamo. How has he held on to that? McQuiz on the inside, Denzamo on the outside. McQuiz holds on to it, skating through that left-hander. And look at Denzamo. He's going to try and go around the outside of the right-hander. Surely not. Surely not here. No, he can't do it. But he switches back to the inside, but can he do it? No. So McQuiz is skating around every single corner. And all the time he's actually losing time to More Than Amazing, who's closing in. So, and look at the rain. It's just storm, torrential rain in Circuit of the Americas. So, Denzamo finally, is he going to make that move past McQuiz? He's going to shove him right out to the side. Is McQuiz going to try and come back? Yes, he is! Very late on the brakes. He's definitely not going to make that corner. And he goes straight on past and drops to P4. This has been an absolute disaster for McQuiz. Think of the points. All he's thinking about is points draining away. And his championship hopes fading away with every position he loses. I thought it would be the wrong call, and it was. And oh dear, look at him. He's gonna actually make, if he makes a pit stop, he's actually gonna drop back to P5. So let me do some quick maths on that. Washi's going to be absolutely delighted with this race. It's all fallen into place for him. And you can hear him wheel spinning in 5th gear down the back straight there. So it definitely hasn't gone well for him today. The points loss is actually going to be 15 points, believe it or not. If he drops to P5, it's going to be a 15-point deficit to him. It's actually going up to 20 points between himself and Washi. So it can change that quickly. That is how quickly the championship can change. From 5 points to 20 points. And More Than Amazing, just closing in at a very fast straight. Surely McQuiz has to give in and come in for wets and see if he can maybe, perhaps try and gain back the time. And he is going to give up. So he's going to drop down to P6, actually. So he's going to be absolutely kicking himself for not changing to those wet tyres earlier. And this could be the end of his championship hopes. More Than Amazing is going to go past. Hoink is going to go past. Might maybe tie between himself and Hoink. Actually, Hoink will have the momentum, so he's going to go past. So he's going to be absolutely kicking himself with that. What would the story have been if it had been dry all the way through? But this has been the way it is today. So it's just gone. It has not gone his way today, McQuiz. And you got a feel for him. But you can see the pace he has on those wet tyres. So you got to think about what would happen if he had changed them earlier. Because he's already on the back of Hoink. Chasing him down. So now he's just got to limit the damage. But now it's going to be a very, very tough ask for him to win the championship now. Then again, it's still possible, but it may not be the title battle we were all hoping for in Abu Dhabi. This, I think, has been the turning point. He's going to waste, oh dear, no time. Oh dear, bang, bang. And not able to get past. I think just frustration setting in now for the Estonian. So basically, if he wants this title, he now has to win pretty much every race in the next... Well, he needs to win the next 3 rounds, pretty much, to even have a shot at it. And look at that massive dive bomb from McQuiz. And he will go straight through into P5. But I don't know if he's going to be able to make up 9 seconds. So this means that championship gap will get pushed up to 20 points. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Washi has left the session now. His car is still going. So we shouldn't panic in that regard. However, if he's unable to get back, then this could be disaster. So, let's... Oh my goodness me. So literally, as I said, it was all going in Washi's favour. He's just after disconnecting from the session. I do not believe it. I do not believe it. 2 laps to go. Can Washi get back? The gap is dropping rapidly. 12.1. David Ben is now... It's pulling... The gap is dropping at a monumental rate. Oh my goodness me. So... Have I completely jinxed Washi once again? And could David Ben win this Grand Prix? The gap has gone from 18 seconds to 8 in 2 corners. Has Washi got back? No, he hasn't. Oh my god. I do not believe my eyes. He's not managed to get back, and now they realise that this is the battle for the lead. Essentially, if Washi cannot get back, then this battle between Denzamo and David Ben is for the lead of the American Grand Prix. So then, will Washi's AI actually be able to hold on until the end? He could still potentially win the Grand Prix if his AI holds on. So, we will have 1 lap to go next time by. The gap has dropped from 18 to 4 seconds. David Ben is within sight of a victory all of a sudden. He can see Washi's AI up ahead. He can hardly believe his eyes. So then, we are down to a last lap showdown. So, Washi's AI, how is it getting on? He's 2.6. He's still holding on to the lead. But suddenly, it's all changed. So coming across the line for the last time. And well, that's it. Well, there you go. 5 second stop go. He's going to get disqualified. David Ben will get disqualified, surely. So now Denzamo is on for a victory. And through goes Denzamo and David Ben to take... Oh my goodness, this heartbreaking disaster for Washi. So now, technically this is the battle for the lead, but David Ben has a 5 second stop go penalty. So Denzamo is in the lead, is in the net lead of this Grand Prix, so he doesn't have to push too hard, but he won't know that, of course. So, the gap between championship leader and McQuiz will only go up by 5 points. It's going to go to a 10-point deficit now. I do not believe that that has just happened. I do not believe what has just happened here in Circuit of the Americas. I'm speechless. More than amazing. What would have happened if there were more laps? Because look at where McQuiz is. 9.1 behind. But then Zamo, I think, realises now. Washi, he gets back. He gets back. But he's going to lose a race victory because of that. What drama here in Circuit of the Americas. David Benn is going to round the final 2 corners, but it will not be for a victory, unfortunately. He's got a 5-second stop-go penalty for exceeding the track limits. So, will he get disqualified or will he get a victory? We don't know, but we assume, coming across the line, David Benn will come across the line in P1, but it's going to be Denzamo who takes victory here in Circuit of the Americas. All of a sudden, it's all changed. Washi comes across the line and still takes a podium. More than amazing. Across the line in P4. And McQuiz, I think he must have been praying to somebody because his title hopes are still very much alive. He comes across the line in P5. And now the championship gap lies at 10 points. Can you believe what has just happened? A disconnection on the final 2 laps means Washi loses the race victory. Denzamo wins his 2nd of the season. And David Benn gets a P2. So, other than that, Hoink finishes P6. Zek gets P7. Rob 2K P8. Danny OUK with a point. Was going to get a points finish today in 9th. And keeping an eye on Limaro. Congratulations to him. He's going to come across the line in P10 for his first points of the season. So that was just drama. Absolute drama. You could not write that. You absolutely could not write that. So, it brings us back to that old Murrayism. Anything can happen in Formula 1, and it usually does. And as a result, it's Denzamo who's down on the top step today. But just wow, I do not believe. Well, it's registering Denzamo as 2nd, but I'm pretty sure it's him who's taken the victory. Unless I am very much mistaken. We'll wait for that confirmation of results. I was wrong. It's actually David Benn who takes victory here in Austin. So he actually stands on the top step of the podium. So according to my data, it was actually Denzamo who'd taken victory, but it's actually David Benn who takes another victory. Unless the timing screens will say different. Let's look at the timing screens. No, there's confirmation. There it is. David Benn somehow has taken victory here in Circuit of the Americas. Denzamo in P2 and Washi in P3. More Than Amazing in P4, McQuiz P5, Hoink P6, Zek P7, Rob 2K P8, Daniel UK P9, and Limaro runs at the top 10. You could not write that if you tried, so thank you very much for watching. We hope you all enjoyed, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.